How despicable, how immoral, how without grace or compassion or honesty. Oh, would that I could slough off this role that smothers me, hides me from me, and I become a buffoon, a comic player, mouthing the words of idiots, fools that mock those they claim to serve. Then do I become but another fool, dressed in navy pinstripe, the costume of this civilian clown to cloak his transformation from dutiful general to obedient servant of the people. It was so easy then. Yes, sir, done, sir, a salute, an about face, a march out of place, decisions made by another, my superior, orders obeyed without question, without doubt, my mind but a soldier behind medals and epaulets and glistering clusters of rank. But now I speak for the people. I act in their name. I serve no other. Oh, how I wish they were true. What offal do I cuddle here? What Cretan guides this ship of state, whose voice I hear and I have come to hate? Where have I buried everything I long to be? What road led me to this barren place? Why do I do what I do when I see that it has poisoned my soul by whitening my face? Have I succumbed to such hypocrisy that I can no longer trace the roots that hungered to be free, that gave purpose to my being and to my race? Do I rise, oh, so far? The cries of those in chains from so long ago are but whispers now. No longer the lingering lamentations of kindred spirits searching for the one to right the wrong they endured. That was me when I was young, full of vinegar pulsing through my veins, afraid of none, champion to all. I lived a goddamn dream. Naive perhaps? No, ignorant. Stupidly believing that it was there for me, the dream for the white man only, dressed in lies, wearing a black face, mocking my every step as I crept up the ladder rung by agonizing rung and lost my soul. Ah, here is my demon on call to summon the radiance of Rumsfeld. Now, there is grace, comeliness, and charm. A smile to bedevil the gods, eyes squinting in the glare of his own brilliance that shines forth from his eloquent mouth in phrases picked from the tree of knowledge before the gates of heaven slammed shut. Or so he would believe in his gut. How sad when an ego can pluck sense from the minds of men. Oh, how he beguiles the press, who prance before his podium like homeless waifs in old England, awaiting the proffered pence from the hands of the blessed chosen. He regales them in known knowns, known unknowns, and unknown unknowns. And they scribble these pearls of wisdom onto their notebooks like obedient children, ignorant of their sense, while he looses the horrors of war and terror in jazzy riffs of obfuscation, while they, befuddled by his merriment, forget the death and destruction he came to announce to the nation. Oh, how many talking fools bob their heads before the multitudes on fluent screens, chortling with glee this clown's distortions of the truth. Fed things that have not happened, could not have happened had they sense. They have mesmerized the people who sit in silent acceptance of fallacies only an O'Reilly or Rush could conjure to certitude. Minds made infallible by ignorance and ego. Here bows the born-again Christian, self-righteous in his indignation of those who question his declaration of who is evil and who blessed by God to lead his mission of salvation against the infidels that threaten his dominion throughout the world. In his humble hands lies the fate of all mankind. Does he believe these myths? Is he an imposter, fraud, blind, or delusional? Does the deception lie in Rove's artifice? Or do I serve a man of infinite deceit? Certainly, I am to blame for this. Why do they do what they do? What gain is there? For whom? Dare we think of the vanquished? Dare we accept that we destroy the only true purpose of life? What perversity drives our end to self-destruction and our doom? Oh God, what years I have devoted to duty and dedication that it should come to this night of reparation where I must confront myself defeated and alone like some aged penitent who shambles towards the confessional, trembling and terrified that absolution will be denied and death will not come, but morning will. And every store window will tell of deeds done in silence, truths not told, defiance put on hold. I stand here now, the only face that must confront the faces it has met, that must judge itself, not them. For they are a ghost of my decisions or indecisions that has wrought the chaos that plagues me this night. I know the day and hour of my defeat. It was a sin of omission, of known horrors untold, of cold bodies buried in the clay at Mile. I knew and said nothing, and learned that silence has its own rewards for those in power that control others by controlling what they know. That omission earned me stars and forged the first link in the chain that grew like Marley's day by day until I was fettered as solidly as any of my forebears that served as chattel to that civil society that shackled the slave. Yet, I did a dastardly thing when I circled their plight, taking unnecessary flight to Egypt that Sharon have time to ravage their homes and massacre the mothers and children who could not flee the terror of his wrath. The whole world cried in despair as I crawled through the carnage that I let happen for their sake, adding still more dead to the links that I dragged, weeping into eternity. Why could I not act? What makes me cower to those I loathe? What force drives this despair? For force it is that compels me to live in this cauldron of self-hate, yet go forth each day to build another crime more hideous than the last, to approve the wall that stands a monument to racist hate, encircling captive those held captives by murderers and thieves, to cry foul when the world court condemns the ethnic imprisonment of people unable to defend themselves against oppression, to proclaim as justified the stealing of Palestinian land, negating by my act the declared will of nations united in voice against the insidious betrayal. Good God, what reformations must I make? To whom must I make them now? Have I a soul to save?